Little FYI on Utah haunted houses. When we bought this prop, this was not on there.
Oh yeah, I bet.
We have to cover everything. We can have a man's asset now. We can't have anything else. No comment.
Right.
Yeah, we can have all the blood and murder and
Yeah,
gore.
we have all the blood and guts.
Don't show a boob.
Cover the, yeah.
This is where we come in, check in, and go see a family up on the Green Mile, which is that way. We're down there. There is an entity, a spirit. We're down there. There is an entity, a spirit. We're down there. There is an entity, a spirit. I was shutting down the haunted house one night. I made this turn when it came out this way, and boom, face to face. She was like, from me to you. I couldn't speak. It was, I went that way. I went out.
Was she
You're done.
like transparent, or was
No,
she looking
like
solid?
I'm looking at you.
Okay, cool.
Just like I'm looking at you. The only thing is her eyes had no light in it. All black, all dead. It was weird. Did you die a violent death in this hospital? Okay. We're going to leave you alone. Is that okay? You go back to rest. Do you want to talk to us? No. We'll come back. You rest. Keep going.
Sarah, are you in here? Sarah, are you in here? Sarah, are you in here? Is there anybody in here who wants to speak to me? Wesley? Hi, I'm Curtis. Do you want to speak to the spirit box? Good. Do you want to speak to the spirit box? Good. Do you want to speak to the spirit box? Good. Wesley, how do you feel about them turning this place into a haunted attraction? What was that? Wesley, how do you feel about them turning this place into a haunted attraction? What was that? Hello?
I just heard something go.
Yeah, what was that? Who's in here? What's her name?
We all starting.
Who's in here? What's her name?
We all starting.
Who's in here? What's her name?
We all starting.
Who's in here? What's her name? What color coat am I wearing? What color coat am I wearing? I'm still in here. I'm still in here. I'm still in here.
We go down the hallway, and the little girls were talking and saying something, and there was me, Aaron, Billy, he was the camera guy, and Zach, and that was it. And everybody stops and turns, and Aaron goes, "Did you hear that?" I said, "Yeah, it was a little girl's voice." Aaron bolts, takes off, gets down, and then the thing goes, "Oh my God, I saw them run into this room." And so he runs over there and he runs into what we called the conference room. And he gets in there and well, we didn't know this, right? He comes running back. She's not going to believe this. And he reaches down and grabs his digital recorder. And he's like, "I saw this." And he reaches down and grabs his digital recorder. And he's like, "I saw the little girls running in there." So I went in there and I grabbed the recorder and I turned it on. And I said, "Hey, do you remember us from last time?" And it said, "Fuck you, get out."
So once upon a time, these doors weren't here, and these doors were open, so it was like this very long hall, right?
The doors were always here.
Well, I mean, they were like open so that you could like see like way far.
That
on
is
each side,
correct.
right? Well, I mean, they were like open so that you could like see like way far.
That
on
is
each side,
correct.
right? Well, I mean, they were like open so that you could like see like way far.
That
on
is
each
correct.
side, right?
Here, maybe. I finish this one. And so he,
It sounds like he rushed it, maybe.
yeah, right. And he didn't have, he gets ready to open, he's an engineer, so, and not a people person, which is most engineers. Decides he has nobody, which is most engineers. Decides he has nobody, which is most engineers. Decides he has nobody.
Dude, it feels way weird in here.
I better.
It feels weird in here.
So uranium glass, we do these things called, I did a vampire party. And set it all up, right?
Weird.
Put it all on the table. Had a 3-course meal served, me and my buddies. And I said, "Yeah, it was all because of the uranium glass." I said, "But it's easy to detect. You just turn on a black light, turn the lights off, turn on the black light, and you'll know."
Oh no.
And so I did.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
those are,
So you instantly know. Now, honestly, it would take you forever to get any type of poison or something, unless you played with the one that is securely locked in this lead filter. That little piece of uranium is about this big and is out of the container lethal.
So definitely, the second I walk in here, totally different than the rest of the building.
100%. It is.
Like whoa, like
And it hits you hard, honestly. I did tell you, this is where I got attacked.
yeah,
So-
this feels like heavier.
And I don't know if it was something that was in the hospital or something that we got that came with some of this stuff, because there's a bunch of stuff in here. And so the only one he
even
would
know
tell me
why I
about,
looked
so
in
each
that
one
thing.
does a different thing. It obviously lights up the sign, and depending on what you chose to move, it would light up different things, and they're 2 different knobs, and so they all meant different stuff, right? The only one he would really tell me about was that one. The blue one meant it's an emergency. We need to meet now. And so if they came by and they saw that, they knew that there was a meeting. Cardboard boxes of these now for like people and things like that. So prisoners, when they die, They can have a funeral. You can request it, and the state will pay for it. But when you get there, it's a paper and cardboard casket. And then what it's designed for is after the funeral, they would actually just stick it in an incinerator and burn everything together.
So that's why they had an incinerator here?
Not here. The incinerator was to get rid of bodies and things.
Oh.
Back in the day, you could actually burn that stuff. There was no regulations on that. They didn't worry about infections and things like that. So most of the time, it was the hospital's responsibility to unless they were headed to the mortuary or something like that. But if there was nobody that claimed the bodies, it was the hospital's job to dispose of them. And they would literally chop them up and stick them down in the incinerator. Both of these are hair art.
Yeah.
This is actually a sample of the hair that they would have used for the hair art. Everything in this photo is all hair. And they would take
That's awesome.
hair of a loved one and they would weave it into some type of art. And they would take
That's awesome.
hair of a loved one and they would take
That's awesome.
hair of a loved one and they would take
That's awesome.
hair of a loved one and they would take
That's awesome.
hair of a loved one from the ceiling and get wires plugged into it. And all of these little things would shine light through them. And then they would adjust the mirrors to where they need it to be.
They did in like ancient.
Egyptian insurance.
They did in like ancient.
Egyptian insurance.
They did in like ancient.
Egyptian insurance.
They did in like ancient.
Egyptian insurance. So yeah, these would basically hang, and then you would be able to adjust the mirrors onto the spot of the patient where you wanted it. And that was a. This is early, and that was a. This is early, and that was a. This is early, and that was a. This is early. Because I fill it up too fast, right? Because I have more fluids than the average person back then would have had. 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 So we start out on the serial killer wall. Maybe not. We'll stop there. But we'll start at the quack medicine. So as we start, this is just old medical equipment here. Light, exam light. These were kind of cool equipment here, light, exam light. These were kind of cool equipment here, light, exam light. These were kind of, but back in the day, what was really popular was quack medicine. And this is what you'll see here. This is the quack medicine. That's the quack medicine. They're over here. And I've got a couple more. I moved them last night to the one right behind you. All right, under the skulls. To the one right behind you. All right, under the skulls. To the one right behind you. All right, under the skulls. The problem is that wasn't understand what it was doing. They just knew it kind of worked sometimes, and that was why it became quack medicine, because they didn't know what they were actually doing. Quack medicine, because they didn't know what they were actually doing. Quack medicine, because they didn't know what they were actually doing. He was deciding that only way to be treated was with modern medicine, and everything else was no good. So if you can find an old machine for vibration and things like that, the key is finding the actual frequency that you need.
Kim, the energy in this room is fucked. Especially over in this corner. This is like,
Well, you know what's
Just
wait.
I can hear like my like ears like going in and out. It's like ringing.
You're in
I feel
probably
like,
the worst possible
I
place.
feel like
So not only do you have
like I'm on
Charlie
a,
here,
I feel like I'm on a boat.
he just recently came about.
I feel it's
You're standing behind every serial killer thing out.
Yeah.
This right here happens to be one of my favorite devices. I have
Man, it's fun to see.
three more of these. This was the fourth one because they had broke, and I had broke my original. This is a real skull.
Oh, it's a real school.
Real skull. This is a picture of what she believes she to be looking like, right? That's what she looks like. And that is the demon that possesses her that tells her everything.
Yep.
This is drawn out of her own blood
I still love it.
What?
She was 100% right.
Is it?
and
It's it.
made out of human fat wax candles.
Oh my god, dude, you have one of those.
Oh, that's okay.
Again, that's his point on his nose. The chin.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Canada recalled all of their money. So Canada recalled all of their money. So Canada recalled all of their money.
Did you write that on that door? Wes's door, it said 666 back.
We did it for the haunted house.
Okay.
And then Zach Bagans blew it up on TV. And
Okay,
it's
yeah.
become that forever. This is a real heart, too, out of a boy, a little boy, 2-year-old boy, had heart disease. Well, kids, we made it to the fun part. Serial killers, right? This gentleman here decides when he goes to prison that he could figure out a way, all of them really had done this, figure out a way to make money. And the way that he made money was by making these little puppets. He decided that he was still going to live on. He decided that he was still going to live on. He decided that he was still going to live on. He decided that he was still going to live on. And so he made these out of hair, including pubic, yeah, all the way down to the belly button.
I was touching it.
I know it.
Bro.
It's worse.
I even thought in my head, I was like, this thing is really soft for me full of toothpaste.
Also has belly button hair,
Bro.
back hair,
Do belly buttons have hair?
blood, and semen.
Steven, I knew it. I was waiting for you to say that.
Dahmer stuff over.
All mixed together to make the puppet, and then he released part of his soul into the puppet. That is a actual reproduction of Dahmer's boyfriend that was in the box.
Yeah.
It's identical all the way down to the tassel.
What about the glasses?
Glasses, I wish. Zach Bagans bought them for $20,000. They are on display in his museum. This here is a deal from Pogo, or
Fuck, dude.
Gacy, right? That was his prison hanky while he was in prison.
That was a nasty piece of work.
Yeah. Right?
Yep.
So this is a crazy ass story. 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 If you notice that this is in glass, there's little stones all the way around it. This is in glass, there's little stones all the way around it. This is in glass, there's little stones all the way around it.
Yeah, that's the
And that was
nasty
all
one right
due to
there.
my wife because of what it did to me. This pipe had been circulating through a cast member of mine. So he gets a hold of this pipe. Turns out his uncle owned the house that old Ted stayed in when he was here in Utah. And he was driving by one day, caught him outside smoking this pipe. Stopped, and he was, hey, listen, like, you can't do that here. This is an LDS community. If people find out that that's happening, I will never be able to rent this house.
If only they knew.
And
Like,
he, yeah, right? And he says, oh, no, I promise you, no one will ever find out. Most people didn't even know he smoked tobacco.
trust me, this is
As
the
a-
worst thing I do.
When he got pulled over, they thought, we got him red-handed. This will be easy. Because they couldn't really arrest him at the time. They were trying to find something on him to get him in jail, to get him to confess to the murders. So they pulled him over, I think it was for a headlight or a turn signal, something stupid. And pull him over, and sitting in the back seat in plain view was a bag about that big, which they thought was marijuana. Turned out it was tobacco. So they couldn't do anything about that. They still had him in custody. Well, the guy that owns the house decides he's going to remodel. And he goes to replace or clean one of the vents that were on the wall like that, pulls it off, and that pipe was sitting inside there. That was his stash. That was where he stashed it, right? So he hung on to it for a while, didn't know what to do. He knew that it was Ted Bundy's, and so the guy, the kid that finds out he has it, and he gets a hold of him and says, "Uncle, I want this thing. It'll be great publicity for my band." So he gets it in his possession. Instantly, the following day, his whole life starts to crash. Band members stop showing up. They start stealing stuff from him. Literally, he'd show up and play a gig, and no one would pay him. It just, to the point you could see it, he was making like videos of how cool this thing was, and how creepy it is, and how like evil it is, and he starts going, and it's just worse and worse. Finally, a year later, because I found out he had it, I was like, dude, I gotta have that thing for the haunted house. And I said, what, not a better? Because he was like, man, this thing's definitely evil. Finally, he calls me up, he says, you can have the damn pipe. I can't do this anymore. I just can't. My life is in shambles. I guarantee you it's the pipe. You can have it. And I says, well, I know you're struggling. I'll buy it from you. So I sent him a bunch of money. I paid a pretty good pay for it. Mainly, I do know the kid as well, right? He was my cast member. Once a cast member, always a cast member. So I buy it. I get it shipped to me. We get it to the house. I come walking in the house with it, and I set it on the table, or on the counter. And I was like, oh my God, this is the pipe. And my voice inside my head said, don't open that fucking thing in here. So I looked at her and I said, baby, we're going to wait while this is in the hospital. Because if it gets released, it'll be released in the hospital. I take it back out of the car. Later that night,
Cut the box open.
huh? I did cut the box
We
open.
cut the box open and just opened the flaps.
Yeah.
And then we went, oh.
No way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
So we didn't actually lay our eyes on the pipe,
Pipe.
itself.
It was just an
Yeah.
open box.
Just open the box. Yeah.
So we go to sleep.
Yeah. That
Right.
night.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
And we start having horrible nightmares.
no. Tell about what happened with the bedroom.
Oh,
I'll tell the other part.
Yeah, sorry, I skipped ahead. That night we opened it and he's like, no, we're not doing this here. We closed it up because we opened it and saw rosaries and white cloth, and that was it. And he went, mm-mm, and I went, no, okay, I agree, take it away. So he takes it out to the car. We go to bed that night and
We're laying.
we're laying in bed next to each other and I hear like
Yeah.
heavy footsteps walking down our hallway that leads to the bedroom. I heard the footsteps stop at the bedroom door. He heard them come all the way to my side of the bed.
And
And
stop.
I have spirits in my house, but they do not do that. Like, they mind their business, we mind ours, and everything's hunky-dory. I never ever once have been approached like that until the night we had opened that box. in the
Literally
house.
walked up and stopped. And
It was
like it was just
so
looking at
scary.
it, right?
So scary.
And so I'm like, shit. So next thing you know, we're in there, and a week goes by, and we're just looking like hell. And I looked at her and said, hey, you know what's so good here? She doesn't have these bad dreams. And I'm like, I'm having bad dreams as well. Like, I don't hardly ever dream, ever. I mean, it's years, right? And now I'm having these horrific dreams. And I'm like, hey, write your dream down. So I do the same. We compare it, right? It's almost identical. We're dreaming of this big, tall dude with snarly teeth, like hands with razors, tall, lengthy, and he is surrounded by blood everywhere, and there's like body parts, and he's trying to like get at us with like cut us into pieces, and there's a girl in there, like she looks like from The Grudge. She's got long black hair. I can't really tell if she's like his prisoner or she's controlling him, but it's just all bad. We'd wake up, go to night, bed, same shit the next night. This goes on and on. We compare notes, and I was like, no fucking way. I call up Jake, I say, hey buddy, a couple questions for you. First text and said, can you talk yet? So I call him up, I said, a couple questions. I said, I noticed when I opened the box, it was wrapped in this cloth with the rosaries around it. What the hell's the deal with that? He said, the thing is pure evil, pure evil. He said, so I had this soaked in holy water, like I said, wrapped it in rosaries and had it blessed. And he said, didn't help at all. He says, I just can't take it anymore. I started having horrible dreams, and I decided that was it. I sold it to you. And I says, can you tell me, he's on speaker. I said, can you tell me about the dreams? There was this really tall guy, long teeth and razor hands. I said, okay. He says, there's blood everywhere. And there's a little girl in the room. And I was like, shut the up, right? He goes, why? I said, we're having the same goddamn dreams. So I
You
didn't,
haven't even unboxed it.
no, at this point, sorry, I forgot. We
Oh.
had taken it down here,
But it's still here.
unboxed it,
Yeah.
and we actually was doing a ghost hunt. So we decided to take it out and show. But before we do that, we open it up and we're like, maybe not. We probably got to not do that. So we put it back in. That was the only
That was
amount of
it.
time we spent with it. Started having those dreams. So we decided, and I started going nutty as shit. Like I was mean. I was like literally punching the wall. It was bad, and I am not that way. And
So
so,
dogs too. We had, I had a dog, but I've had livestock my whole life, and these dogs were raised around livestock. They're Australian shepherds. They're to
What they
herd
do.
livestock. Like they're supposed to move them around. They're not aggressive towards them in any way. And
One
my,
would leave, like,
yeah,
get
my
off
one
and leave
dog would
all the
run
time.
away to my mom's house constantly. She hated being in our house, so she'd run
she
away
was
to
kind
my
of
mom's.
raised there.
And we had one day, like maybe a month after we had that at the house, and the dog runs away from my mom's house to our house.
Which is odd.
Yeah,
Never
wait,
happened.
she never did that. She always went the other direction.
Okay.
So she shows up, and that same day we had this little, it was an old smokehouse, so it's kind of a concrete building. The mama goat and the baby that we had in there, she had jumped up on the door and opened the door. Well, then we had like a creep feeder blocking it. The baby was able to fit through the slats, and mama couldn't. Baby got out, was running around, and mom ends up jumping the fence to get the baby. And these dogs, the one shows up, meets up with my other dog, and they like corner the goats in front of the door. Baby runs back in. Mom can't. She's trying to protect the baby, and they attack and kill the mom.
No.
And I'm like,
Dogs never do that.
well, like what? Yeah, they literally, the one dog was 10
Yeah.
almost, and had been raised with sheep and goats, and she never, ever, ever once in her whole life was aggressive like that. And they teamed up and killed the mama goat. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, so just weird things like that.
So
It's happening all the time.
How long have you had that?
Now? Oh, we've had
So-
like 3 years now.
That would-
But it's not
That's
like
her
it
department.
was.
She's the memory stick, sorry.
Yeah, we've probably had it about 3 years now. That all happened within
Yeah.
4 months of when
Oh,
it
yeah.
first showed up at the house.
So did you know right away that there was the pipe?
Yeah, she ended up having the
Pretty
same
much from the
thing.
footsteps.
Had a
Yeah,
shaman
it was
and a
like-
priest come in and bless it. That's with all the rocks and stuff on it. It's some other spell to it. And I'm not kidding you, it was almost instant. Shaman and a priest come in and bless it. That's with all the rocks and stuff on it. It's some other spell to it. And I'm not kidding you, it was almost instant. Shaman and a priest come in and bless it. That's with all the rocks and stuff on it. It's some other spell to it. And I'm not kidding you, it was almost instant. Almost instant that I was like, what in the hell was happening?
Wow.
Well, in the one dream, that monster was coming and killing everybody I loved. And then it came after me, and I kept having the same dream. And when it come after me, I'd like wake up sweating, like can't breathe, like just panicked. I'd fall back to sleep, and I'd even tell myself, don't go back to sleep, you're gonna go right back into it. Don't go back to sleep, don't go back to sleep. And I'd pass back out, straight into where I left off in the dream, and that thing was attacking me again.
And that's the pipe store.
Yeah, that's the fact.
What did you do to like get to a better place?
So definitely sealed it for glasses for protection, right? Then they did some spell work on it. If you notice, there's some stones in each corner.
That's
They
what
had
you and your friend did?
Yeah.
So when you opened it, you touched it.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was the.
That was it, right there.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I guarantee you, out of all the stuff that I have in here, that is a pre-incarceration object.
Yes.
That's what
All of
turned
that.
Buddy into what he was?
I think that's what that was transferred into
So
that.
you think
right? I think
he
some of that-
transferred it into
Not
that?
him, just some of that evil.
But not that the evil that was in that transferred into him.
I'd say that most of these guys, they had a demon attached to them.
It had something for sure. It
And
could
then
definitely-
it attaches to other things.
Yeah.
I mean, if not them, who?
You're right. And I've heard of cursed objects and stuff, and I just never have believed in it. And if that wouldn't have happened, I still would not have
I was
believed
like,
in that.
really?
It's
That's why there's curse.
it's something that I just
Let
didn't
me out that thing.
ever
It's
think
very
it could
hard. I
happen.
get it.
So yes, I am alone in the old Tooele hospital, completely alone. This building is about 150,000 square feet. It's been turned into a giant maze with like about 1,000 terrifying mannequins that are extremely grotesque, and it's just a labyrinth. It's a haunted attraction. And Kimm has been nice enough to let me just stay here alone. So I am all alone here. And it is a little bit unnerving, I have to be honest. We'll put some balls that light up when you touch them down the hall there. Can you tell me your name so I know it's you? Jesse? What's my name? It's Curtis. Can you say Curtis? So I know it's you? I did that well, too. You see what's going on? Cowboy is going on. I did that well, too. You see what's going on? Cowboy is going on. I really appreciate that. Makes me feel good to know that I'm not alone. What was that? I'm gonna try to plug this into a bigger speaker so I can hear you better. There, that was me.
I gotta remember that that ball is there. I gotta remember that that ball is there. I gotta remember that that ball is there.
Leslie, is Sarah with me? Boy? Leslie, is Sarah with me? Boy? I'm gonna sit here. I don't want to be in your way too much. I'm gonna turn the spirit box off. You wanna say something before I turn it off? Yeah?
All the way.
I'm gonna turn the spirit box off. You wanna say something before I turn it off? Yeah?
All the way. All the way. All the way. All the way.
I changed it. Oh, you want to see what I see? That's what I see. It's dark. Sarah, are you in here? So yes, I am here at the Old Tooele Hospital. completely alone. The entire building is empty except for me. And the cat ball had just gone off. Now, something about this one I kind of like. Yeah, that's pretty creepy though. Who's in here with me? What's that? Did you die in this hospital or not? My name's Curtis. What's your name? Look at all these skulls he got. That's a good one right there. That is good stuff. Are you making a sound? Is that you? Make a knocking sound, like a clear one. You speaking to the digital recorder? What's her name? That sounds interesting. Can you make 3 knocks? Tap, tap, tap. That was only 2. Can you do 3? Who are you? Interesting. Amount of skeletons and skulls and coffins. It's crazy. This is the operating room. Who's in here with me? Jessica? Is there a Jessica in here? That's just creepy. This is the old emergency room. Make a tapping sound. That was kind of scary.